Hello everybody, it's me Sam here for WoopaGaming, and today I'm going to show you how to use and install default commands for backup. So what is default commands? Well, basically default commands is a plugin that will allow you to use all the standard commands in Minecraft. So what are standard commands? Things like ban, kick, teleport, top, weather, day, things like that. So you can have a look at the features. It has measure of the day, some kits, homes, portals, cuboids, hungry cow, magic sheep, nicknames. I think it has some also some world editing and whatnot. So I'm not going to go over all the commands because there are quite a lot, but I'm going to go over a few of them and just see what it's like. So there we just set up a. So that's the place where we need to go. So hit download. I'll go over the config first. So drag default command in your plugin directory, start the server up, and it should say default commands and then the version is enabled. So let's have a look at the configs and it's created. So if you go to plugins, default commands, you should see all these files created. So okay, let's start with commands.yml. So if you look at commands, basically we can configure what each command does. So the way it works is you type in this this string, so it'll be /dc_god, and it'll do this thing which is invisible. So if you ignore mob, DC no pickup, DC hide, it makes you invisible. Any of these will make you invisible. Okay? So you can modify these commands to just make it God. But by default all of these commands will have DC in front of them, just so it doesn't conflict with any plugins, but you can modify this to have you like. So for instance DC fly, all these will do admin. DC create, so create, DC join, DC worlds, DC small mobs, and these are just all the configurations. So for instance, when you type in DC give, it will do the give item and I command, and such like. Ugh, makes sense. So you can modify all these commands. They're pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to go over all of them. Like for instance, DC ping will just do the ping thing, ping command. Okay, that's default commands.log. Will just log everything that happens with the plugin, and people with commands and stuff. Default commands.yml. This is just like the commands config. So how many commands per page. How the give is set out. So give item, then the amount, and the player. How the chat is. So how it sorts out the chat. So that's using permissions. Name of the console, time zone. All these things here you can modify. Pretty self-explanatory. Selection tool 280, stuff like that. Homes.yml. So all these other ones will just be homes.yml will just store all the homes with all the players when they set them. These are the colours of items. So these are all the wall types. For each wall there's a different colour. Kits, you can create some kits. So for instance, when someone does a starter kit, they'll get all wooden tools, or one of each, and they're the data values. You can modify that and add as many as you like. Names will just be nicknames when you set them. Players will be players. Portals, if you're creating portals. String, this is where all the language files and stuff, so whenever something happens, like oh you've been teleported or whatnot, you'll just see this come up, so you can modify that to see whatever it's saying in your language and whatnot. Warps will just show where all the locations of the warps are, and whitelist will just say if you're having a whitelist, players are only allowed on the server. And then inventory and worlds, you'll see a config for all the worlds. These are just like default what's it like things to do with the world. So for instance, blocking all fire, blocking lava, making sheep magical, making hungry cows, up permissions. So you can modify that to each world and whatnot, and then also the permissions here, all the permission nodes for each of the commands, and that's the same for world nether or whatever things you have. So reload that. So what we're going to do, we're going to go in game and have a look at some of the commands. See you in a bit. Okay, you join us in game, and first of all, it's night time. So first thing command I'm going to do is DC time, day, and then the worlds. I don't have to specify a world, I can just do all worlds. So I did day, didn't I? And there you can set the time to what you prefer. So that's the first command. I'm going to go over all the basic ones. So let's do DC spawn mob. So do the command DC spawn mob spaced, and then the amount of mobs you want. So for instance 2, and then what mob, so sheep, and it will create 2 sheep. Way looking at. Now there are a lot of commands. I'm not going to be able to go over all of them, but I'm just going to go over some of the ones you'll be needing. There's also DC God, and this will make you invincible, so I can just jump all around, kill myself. I'm not really killing myself, am I? But it allows you to do make yourself God, and you can also ungod yourself by using the same command, and you can also god other players by doing DC god and then play. So I'm going to god myself just in case. I don't know why I did it like that. There we are. So there we are. I godded myself. You can also notice in the chat's been modified, so that's also to do with default commands, as we saw in the configuration. I can modify the structure of this chat as I will explain. So what I can do is also DC kill near 5, and it will kill all the mobs in a radius 5 near me. So just in case the sheeps are annoying you and whatnot. Let's do DC who. So it'll show you who's online. So there's my IP, which is just localhost, where they are, how much HP they have, and what group they're in if you have permissions or another group system. We've also got DC set spawn, so you can set the spawn, for instance, over there where I was, and then when you want to spawn there, and that's where new players will go to. You might have noticed that there was some smoke when I teleported. That's also to do with default commands. You can modify that and change that to whatever you like. That's up to you. It just does that whenever you. What else we got? We'll try DC fly. So we've got DC fly. Yeah, right. I'm just new sometimes. And that concludes today's tutorial. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's me, Sam, for WoopaGaming, signing out.